The water quality of the aquarium is the water that the fish and the corals and your invertebrates are living in, so it's important to monitor it to make sure they're in a healthy environment. We've made it super simple. Our water quality monitoring starts with just simply looking in the aquarium and making sure the livestock seem healthy. Your corals are out and feeding and your fish are swimming happily, so that's the most important thing, to do that on a daily basis. Two other things you need to keep an eye on: dead species. So you're looking for dead snails or excess feeding. You want to remove the organic waste in the aquarium. But the other thing for water quality monitoring is monitoring the amount of nuisance algae growing. So are you cleaning the glass too frequently? Is there hair algae or some brown slime growing over your rocks? And if there is, you need to take action and get on top of it before it becomes a problem. Now on to the actual water quality parameters we want you to monitor. So every 3 months when you do a water change, or if you see a change in the aquarium, such as an increase in nuisance algae or something seems stressed, we want you to test the water. Now there's actually only 4 simple things that we ask you to test. This temperature, so check the thermometer, even put your hand in there to make sure it feels okay. The salinity shouldn't change much, but it's worth checking with your hydrometer that's in your maintenance kit. Now the 2 other things are the nutrient levels. So we've got a nitrate test kit and a phosphate test kit. Both of those things are nutrient levels, and it's the one thing in the aquarium we need to keep balanced. Now to test your nitrates and your phosphates using the test kits, we'll actually cover that in a different video, but you can follow the instructions on the packaging. It is pretty simple, might take a little bit of practice, but you've got to get used to it. Now for the 4 parameters that I've mentioned that we do monitor, for the temperature between 21 and 27, as close to 24 degrees is optimal. It's in the green band of your thermometer. And same with your salinity. 1.024, 1.025 is ideal, but anything within 1.027 down to 1.022 will be fine within the green bands on the hydrometer. With nitrates and phosphates, they're your test kits, and that's a little bit more complicated, but it's still super simple. Now with nitrates, we don't want them to be below 1, which is basically detectable on your test kit, or above 30 to 40. You're starting to get high, you might start noticing nuisance algae. Same thing with phosphate, from 0.05, which is barely noticeable on your color chart, up to 0.1 is okay, perfect for your aquarium. Going a little bit above and below these, it's probably okay, but anything more or less, you might start running into problems with having too lower nutrients or too high nutrients. So both of those scenarios we're going to quickly discuss. Now the beneficial bacteria that live in your tank that we always talk about, they need some nutrients to grow. So when the nutrients are too low, so you have ultra low nutrients, undetectable, then they actually starve. The diversity of those bacteria drop off, and the nuisance bacteria, the nuisance algae start to take over. And a big problem you can get there is a dinoflagellate nuisance algae. It's not actually an algae, we call it a nuisance algae though, but it's a brown, snotty, slimy layer that covers your rocks and sand really quick. So we have a program for that, but the most important thing is you got to build up your nutrients again. So you want to take out your white phosphate remover from your top basket in your filter chamber and add an extra feed every day. So either press a button once more every day, but let those nutrients slowly build back up again over a couple of week period. Now if your nutrient levels are detected as too high, you're probably going to get nuisance algae growing in your tank. So a cyanobacteria, which is a red slime layer, or hair algae, they're treated pretty much the same in our separate video, but it starts with a blackout. The 72-hour blackouts, turning the light off, is a really brilliant way to help your tank get on top of those problems. But to bring the nutrients down, you want to start with a water change, refresh your carbon and your phosphate remover in the filter baskets in the back, and try to bring those nutrients back down again, reduce your feeding, remove organics. Now whether your problem is too low in nutrients or too high, both of those are treated with a bacterial program. It's the same program, Dr. Tim's Refresh and Waste Away, which you'll find in a different video, and they both start with a blackout. Only subtle differences on about reducing or raising the nutrient level, but very similar programs. Now marine aquariums have traditionally been super complex. You can test everything in the world. We're just touching the surface with 4 parameters to manage, and really it's just 2, the nutrient levels. Now anything else you should be able to tell something's wrong from the visual check in your aquarium, but we've kept it really simple. Don't be overwhelmed and try to get on top of your problems before they actually get worse.